Hi, my name is Jordan Officer, and I'm going to be imagining what Charlie Christian might have sounded like if he'd lived just a year or two longer. Charlie Christian, besides completely revolutionizing the role of guitar in jazz, all before the age of 25 when he passed away of tuberculosis, was also part of these late-night jam sessions at Minton's and Monroe's in Harlem, where young musicians like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk, and Charlie Christian were experimenting with a new language for jazz, what would eventually become known as bebop. Charlie Christian, basically his day job was playing with the Benny Goodman Sextet, but late at night he was leading these jams at Minton's and Monroe's in Harlem, where guys like Charlie Christian, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk, Kenny Clark were inventing a new language and experimenting with playing melodies based on the upper extensions of the chords rather than the main notes, the 1, 3, 5, and 7. Now, luckily, there's recordings of these jams that are available. There's incredible playing by all these musicians. Charlie Christian in particular plays chorus after chorus on all kinds of tunes. And you can definitely hear in his solos how he's building melodies on the 9s and 13s. That's what you call the upper extensions. But one difference between Charlie Christian and the others is that, well, since Charlie passed away really young and right in the middle of all this, when all this experimentation was happening, Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie and Bud Powell, they would evolve towards altered upper extensions, so flat 9s and sharp 9s, flat 13 and sharp 11, rather than just the 9s and 13s. And that's the difference between them and Charlie Christian. But Charlie Christian, unfortunately, passed away too young, so I can't help but wonder what would Charlie Christian have sounded like if he'd just lived a year longer, because he definitely would have ended up moving towards those altered extensions, like his contemporaries. So I'm going to try to get a sense of what that might have sounded like. So if you remember, we learned a line on Swing to Bop, to me one of the most incredible guitar solos ever recorded. It's Charlie Christian on these live recordings and these late night jams playing chorus after chorus on the changes of Topsy. And on the B flat 7 at one point he plays this line. Very cool, very typical Charlie Christian sounding line, ending on the 9. But we also saw how we can take a chord, a tritone away from a dominant chord, and play over that chord while the rest of the band is playing our regular dominant 7 chord, and that generates altered sounds. Flat 9, sharp 11, all these notes that all the bebop players would end up gravitating towards. So what if we take this B flat 7 line that we learned from Charlie Christian, but we play it over an E7? Well, that would make it a tritone sub. So we'd be playing B flat 7 notes. We'd be using Charlie Christian's very classic, very unique language, but we'd be having all those extensions. We'd be getting sharp 9s and flat 9s because we'd be playing it over a different chord. So if we're in the key of A, let's say, our 5 chord is the E, E7. So here's our tonic, A, and our 5 chord. So that's just very normal E7 sounding lines over the E7. So what if instead of playing E7 lines over the E7, we play Charlie Christian's line that he originally played over a B flat 7 chord, but now we'll be playing it over an E chord. So and resolving it to A as if it was an E7 line. But what happens is that if we relate all those notes that Charlie Christian played, but we relate them to the E, suddenly we've got a line that's starting on a flat 9, then hitting a sharp 11, and then a sharp 5. And it resolves beautifully to the A. So what was originally a B flat 7 line becomes an E7 altered line. And to me, that's maybe the easiest way that we can try to imagine what Charlie Christian would have sounded if he just lived a little bit longer. Now let's have fun with some of the other B flat 7 lines that he plays on that solo. And each time we'll play it now as if we're playing over an E7 chord and resolving to A. So. Very nice. See, to me, that's, I think, as close as we can get, because this is Charlie Christian's language. It sounds like Charlie Christian, but suddenly it's altered. It's got flats 9s, sharp 9s, flat 13, sharp 11. And I'm going to keep playing around with playing some of Charlie Christian's vocabulary in different contexts. Right now it's a tritone sub, but I think we could also find a way to play some of his amazing dominant 7 playing over half diminished chords, over minor chords. So I'm not done. We're going to keep exploring. With what Charlie Christian might have sounded like. If he'd lived just a year or two longer. My name is Jordan Officer. Over the next weeks and months, I'm going to be getting back to the basics, trying out new ideas for improvising, technique, checking out some gear, talking to some of my favorite guitar players. So stay tuned, subscribe, share, send me your feedback, and we'll see you soon.